All right, welcome into a busy 15-minute weather. I'm meteorologist John Zeigler. Welcome back, meteorologist Courtney Aitken.
Thank you.
You're in the old Texas.
Happy to be back, and it's a busy weather day.
And you came back and you were like, what happened?
I was like, what happened? Plane landed, I got out, and it was so windy and so warm. I was like, did I do that? I mean,
Probably.
Probably.
This state is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We had 20 inches of snow 1 week ago. And then it was
that seriously 1 week ago?
Yeah. Well, northern
Up
Minnesota,
north.
but still.
Still.
The state is weird.
Yeah.
And now here we go with, as soon as you warm up at this time of the year, you're in trouble. The only time that we're quiet is when we're cold. Mm-hmm. So when the next cold front comes in, we'll take a break. Until then.
Active.
Yeah, and I'm looking at, and maybe we'll take a trip down the next 2 or 3 days. Madison, Wisconsin, Chicago, Illinois, they're going 3 or 4 straight days of active weather. So we're
It's a marathon.
We have today, and then that's it. We're going to give the weather to Madison, but Madison may have 3 or 4 straight days, so very close to us, but we got to get through today. We have some upgrades, and it's been warm.
It's been warm. Yeah, yesterday, correct me if I'm wrong, warmest day of the year so far?
Warmest day of the year. I had somebody say, and I didn't look at the stat, but they said it was a 100-year-old record in St. Cloud.
No way.
That we broke. So
I did see something on social media about St. Cloud. I think there were 83 yesterday.
83, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
Crazy.
good.
Yeah.
That feels like
Yeah,
early summer.
And yeah, that's our first graphic is you'll see the 83-degree temp in St. Cloud.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, big swath of warmth there. It was also really windy, so I mean,
I
either
feel
way,
like you can almost see the southwest wind cranking right
you
through
really
it.
can. I mean, with that gradient there. So nice and warm. Up north, not as warm, but still 50 for people in International Falls. It's not a bad day. So after we hit that high, we were still in the 70s at 9 o'clock. We cooled into the 50s overnight, and that's kind of where we hung out for most of the sunrise show. So it didn't really feel too bad in the backyard all through the morning. I hope you enjoyed your morning. It was a nice one. We're going to get some active weather rolling in later today. So that weather impact alert starts at 3 o'clock, goes till midnight. I think that by 10 or 11, we're done with the bulk of the storms. But just for the chance that an isolated storm lingers through the midnight hour, we're going to keep that in place. The impact is going to be severe storms. We're going to see all modes of severe weather. So that means wind, hail, and yes, tornadoes. So essential today that you have a plan and stay alert. Have a way to get those weather alerts. Make sure that your notifications are turned on. This is our severe weather outlook. We really just cranked this from 0 to an enhanced risk. So you can see the orange area south of the Twin Cities and stretching into parts of Wisconsin. That's a level 3 out of 5. So generally with that enhanced risk, that means that within 25 miles, you're going to get not just a couple of storms, but likely numerous storms. And then the further you look to the north, you've got the yellow and then eventually the green. So the threat is lower the further north you go. As of late morning, almost 60 degrees, winds still relatively light out of the east, and dew points are in the 50s. Dew points are going to play a big role as we head into later today, and that'll kind of influence on the storms that we may or may not see. We will see the storms to the south of the metro, and then we'll have to see where the warm front sets up. Either way, strong to severe storms likely today. Very warm, not as warm as yesterday, but still got some 70s. Temperatures will stay above average the rest of the week. And the pattern stays active for us, but today is looks like the biggest impact with regards to the potential for severe weather.
Yeah, I think a lot of people love storms, but they're like, oh, I love storms. I'm like, well, in spring, you can't really just get storms. There's too much rotation. I was also talking to some folks, why does it not storm in the middle of the night now? Well, it's not July, and you're going to lose the warmth at night in April.
Right.
So you're going to see your storms really at this early stage focused in that afternoon and evening, peak heating of the day. You're going to need all the energy. It's the different time of the year where you have plenty of shear because the jet stream is the strongest, and you're lacking instability. So that's why, like you said, dew points are very important. Temperatures very important. Where in summertime, June, July, I almost never look at the temperature and dew point because they're always good.
They're always good, and you have the warmth for longer. It lingers into the evening. You have those warm summer nights, and that can keep feeding storms, so you keep them going even after dark. Today is a little bit more iffy. We have that window starting about 3, 4 o'clock. Once those storms fire, that first round is probably going to pose the biggest threat.
All right, let's keep it moving here. Let's talk about things that we have noticed that have changed over the past 8 hours, I would say. Maybe 12 hours. Overnight into this morning. This warm front, and I was talking about it last week, a lot of times when you get to the actual day of severe weather, this trends south. There's a lot of reasons why I believe that. These are all just guesses. I do believe it's because of the snowpack still in northern Minnesota. I don't think the actual low pressure centers pick up on the correct data until they get a little bit closer. And I just think this cold air pushes them slightly southeast almost every time. When you're early in the year, I don't know if I've ever seen one trend north at this time of the year. Because we had a warm front yesterday up here, and guess what? It didn't do anything because there's snow on the ground up there. But this is going to be very important. The warm front is now a focus point. If I drew the actual warm front from yesterday on here, it was here. So I'm going to draw yesterday. So that if I showed you this yesterday, it was right here. So that's why yesterday when I was forecasting at 8 p.m. before I went to bed, I was like, oh, watch out for the naders. But then guess what? It trended here. So this is the new warm front. So the warm front is a very important spot because it's one, it's where storms develop. So this is probably where storms develop. 2, they interact with the warm front. They have the highest turning. Again, the winds turn out of the southeast. That's. I mean, I could literally draw this and explain tornadoes in 10 seconds on here. Why does a warm front create tornadoes? If the winds are like this, they're all spinning southeast, right? What is it here? Straight east. And then what is it here? Northeast. Where are you going to have, if it spins counterclockwise, a tornado, which one is it going to be good? Right in the middle of this red thing, you got southeast winds spinning this thing, right? It's this southeast movement that does it. Once you see your wind out of the northeast, you're out, literally. You must have a southeast wind at the surface to have tornadoes. I'm sure somebody could find me a 1 in 1,000 chance where there's an anticyclonic, whatever, northeast flow, cold front tornado. They happen? Not really. Okay, not really. So you have this same circulation embedded in here, but you'll notice a lot of the times the majority of our smaller tornadoes spin up on this warm front. So it's close to the metro. It's something that we will monitor. Also, we're looking at something called the storm energy called CAPE. CAPE is just how we measure the actual energy due to, there's 2 things that, well, 3. The cold air aloft, because warm air rises, so you need it to be colder aloft. We call that lapse rates, if you ever heard that. Here at the surface, there's temperatures, dew points. The higher the temperature, the higher the dew point, the colder it is aloft, creates this storm energy. Now, if you were amateur and you would say, well, I'm going to go to the darkest red, right? That's where the tornadoes are going to be. That would be incorrect. The area where you would have the highest tornado threat is right where it tapers off. Why is that? Because that indicates where that warm front is. We just talked about it. So right there. Now it's close. South Metro, Mankato, Belle Plaine, kind of coming down here into Red Wing. Yeah, and this is the beginning of it at 4. This will trend south. So if I continue to pull this is 4 o'clock. What happens? You see how it trends south? So yeah, 6:50 here. That's your tornado threat. It's the boundary between elevated thunderstorms and surface-based thunderstorms. That's what matters a lot. We tried to change this up. Maybe I can here a little bit, but I think it's pretty obvious the tornado threat is much higher across that southeast zone. Remember, I just literally showed you the storm energy and the warm front. That's all the SPC is following. They're following it. They're adding an enhanced risk here for tornadoes. The hatched area, the black hatching, it's tricky. I don't know if there's a better way to message this from the SPC, but it is what we have right now. It just indicates, I don't know if anybody knows this. I've had so many people ask me what in the world that is. It is, for each one, it's different. For wind, I don't know what it is. I assume it's 80 mile per hour wind gusts. I could be wrong. It could be 75. But hail is tennis ball size, or at least egg size. So you're looking at over egg size hail, which is damaging hail. So there's a chance for that in any thunderstorm in the hatched area. In the hatched area, there's a chance for an EF2 or greater tornado. We call those damaging tornadoes. So typically, when you're looking at a damaging tornado, it's coming on a supercell. Well, the supercell thunderstorm threat is mainly 4 to 8 p.m. tonight. You see that yellow area? We're going to zoom in on this. This is actually, this bar is incorrect. We wanted to show you the tornado threat and zoom around a little bit. So this is actually a tornado threat with that hatched. Let me take off the hatched area, actually. You get the idea. So I'll take the hatched off. Let's see, hold on. There's the hatched. Okay, and then we can zoom in here for folks. This is a tornado threat only. You can see Wabasha. Red Wing's kind of on it. The Twin Cities still has a chance here, but it's lower end. Again, this is a 5% chance that there's a tornado. You have a 5% chance that you're in, you know the miles?
Within 25.
25 miles?
Yeah.
You have a 5% chance that a tornado is within 25 miles of you. 5%. That's not that high. Now, you would think, oh, well, what's the yellow? It's actually only 10%. So these aren't high, but it's still, I mean, trust me, that means that there's going to be tornado warnings in this area. Owatonna, that stretches in this area. Austin, Albert Lee, Blue Earth. And we think that the first cells are going to develop right here. We just think the first actual thunderstorms are going to kind of develop in this zone here, and then they're going to start moving that way. They're going to start moving east. And once this is out, I just think areas of, wow, that's terrible. All right, so there we go. We think areas up here in St. Cloud, the threats are just a lot lower this time around. All right, well, I'm going to come back to the desk here, but we'll kind of map this out. Let's talk about the threats here.
Yeah, so by about 3 o'clock, keep in mind that's the time that our weather impact alert starts. We're not going to see crazy storms firing right off the top of the 3 o'clock hour. We will likely see some spotty rain around the region. By 5 o'clock, let's see if I can go back.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. So 3 o'clock, spotty rain. Here we go. 5 o'clock. Notice what's happening just to the south of the metro. We have what we call discrete cells. So they kind of look like cells. If you were in biology class, they're those little circles. Yeah. Those discrete cells or isolated cells tend to have the stronger updrafts, which means you get large hail. You were just talking about how we could get egg size or larger. That's easily in the cards today. Fast forwarding through the 8 o'clock hour, we're a little bit more widespread with that activity.
I think it's still clearly southeast, though.
South and east, exactly. And Wisconsin, this is going to impact you too. By the time we get through 10, 11 o'clock, all of this is marching out to the east. There could be some lingering shower and storm activity, but the vast majority will have strengthened and moved out to the east. We also could see some pretty heavy downpours where the storms do develop, so some localized flooding I think is not out of the question, but it's also not the primary concern. This is just one model showing that between now and 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, the Twin Cities could get a couple tenths of an inch of rain. Mankato easily about a half an inch. And then for areas where we see those heavy downpours, strong storms set up, 1 to 2 inches is definitely possible, and then rain totals will be lower generally the further north you look.
Again, Wisconsin is just going to take the bulk of this. If I'm looking at this and just talking to a friend, I'm going to say if you're west of Twin Cities, you got a really low chance of getting anything.
I agree.
It's just my actual opinion. And I mean, even Hutchinson, St. Cloud, you have a good chance of missing out completely on this thing.
Yeah.
But if you're in western Wisconsin, if you're talking to me right now in La Crosse, had some folks talking to me near Wabasha, I'm like, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
In fact, the only tornado I've ever been hit by, I was golfing in Wabasha at Coffee Mill.
That's where you were.
Got hit by an EF1 tornado. And the golf course cleaned up the debris. There were trees everywhere. The golf course cleaned it up and let us finish playing that day. It was the weirdest day of my life. I was like, how'd you guys clean up?
That's like a fever dream.
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, oh, we got hit by a tornado and finished golfing. It's a pretty cool day. Anyways, Wabasha, you're in it again. I really don't want to see a bunch of horrible tornadoes today. I don't think the setup is screaming horrific. I could see this being a very short-lived supercell event, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Once this thing turns into the squall line and rolls into Wisconsin, it's going to be out of here.
Yeah, I mean, always, whenever those storms form a line, you still have the wind threat, but the tornado threat really plummets once you have a line.
You actually typically get more tornado warnings on lines, but typically less actual tornadoes.
Yeah, less confirmation. So.
All right, well, stay safe, everyone.
We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you here. Stay here on Carolina Plus.